Hello and welcome to part 2 of learning the Oslo stitch in Nälbinding. For this video I'm going to try to show you how to join your piece in the round. So first of all, to identify where your working loop is, obviously one end you have the tail where you started, and then the other end you have a loop that you are able to loosen and tighten with the working yarn. This is the loop that you will have over your thumb, and remembering from the previous video, you always want your yarn, your working yarn, to be down the left hand side of your thumb. So you've got your working loop on your thumb and you've got the previous loop behind your thumb. Now before you join it in the round, you want to make sure that you have your row straight without any twists in it. Now if you join your piece and it has twists in it, you will end up with a Mobius strip. Now Mobius strips are lovely, however not particularly useful for making mittens and hats and socks and things. So make sure your row is straight and not twisted when you join it. So you bring the tail end around to your working loop like this. Now your stitches that you will be working on are these top loops along your row there. So I personally think this looks somewhat like a braid, and it's the very top row that are the stitches that you will be working into to join this piece in the round. So again, we add our loop onto our thumb, give it a little tug to make sure it's tight enough, and then making sure that our piece is straight, we bring the tail around to the working loop. So now, in order to join this in the round, we want to use the first couple of stitches here at the very end. Now some people use one to join, others use a couple. I prefer to use a couple for the first stitch there, just to make sure it's secure. So as we did before, we are going from the front to the back to start our stitch. So we've got our working loop on our thumb, we've got the other loop behind our thumb, we're just going to hold on to that knot at the end of the tail there and go through those two top stitches from the front to the back, then through from the front to the back through the loop behind our thumb, then twist it forward as we did before, down through the back of the working loop or the thumb loop, under the working yarn, and pull forward. Now we're back to two loops on our thumb. We've got the working loop, thumb loop down below, and we pull that loop off of our thumb. Now that is technically joined. So we move along to the next stitch. We go from the front to the back. We go to the loop behind our thumb, front to back. We twist it forward, go down underneath the thumb loop, underneath the working yarn, and then pull that forward. Now you continue doing this all the way around, and what you're actually creating is a spiral that will go around and around and around until you get the length that you need. So that again, front to back. Oops, sorry, I forgot to take the loop off my thumb. Front to back on the next stitch on the row, front to back on the loop behind your thumb, twist it forward, underneath the thumb loop, and pull it forward. Now remember, you can either do it in 2 motions where you do the stitch, then take the loop off your thumb, or you can take the loop off your thumb as you're doing the stitch. So you've probably noticed that I tend to do the 1 motion rather than 2. So I'll try to do it with the 2. You go through from the front to the back, the stitch, through the loop behind the thumb from the front to the back, twist it forward underneath the thumb loop, underneath the working yarn, and pull it forward, and then you pull the loop off your thumb. Or if you're doing it in the 1 motion, we go through from the front to the back on the stitch, front to the back on the back loop, and then as we're twisting and going underneath that thumb loop, we take our thumb out of that loop and we just pull the yarn forward, and we've only got 1 loop left on our thumb. So now you continue doing that all the way around, and then just keep going in that spiral until you get the length that you need. So front to back, twist forward, under the thumb loop, under the working yarn, and pull forward, then off with that loop. Okay, so that is all there is to it, to joining in the round with Oslo stitch. I hope this has been useful, and I'll see you next time. Bye.